My name is Scott Morgan. I am the Chief Financial Officer for Nanome Incorporated. By trade, I was a certified public accountant and then went into the finance world. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I was a co-founder of a blockchain Bitcoin wallet called Airbitz. And that really sparked my enthusiasm for cryptocurrencies. Nanome is a company that actually has two software products, and one is called CalcFlow, which is a vector calculus tool. One of the unnerving things that most people do when they learn math is they have a very hard time visualizing what it looks like. We have now produced a tool in which they can do that. They can actually step into a virtual 3D space, take a look at an X, Y, and Z axis and see exactly what it looks like. The greatest thing about that is now instead of the teacher spending half the class trying to draw a 3D image on a 2D screen or a 2D blackboard, you can actually go into this virtual reality room and see it. It's unparalleled in terms of the ability to convey and teach. The next product that we have is a molecular design tool. Again, just as you and I see each other in 3D, the idea of seeing a 3D object and be able to walk around that 3D object or manipulate it in real time is a huge advent, and that's what virtual reality has brought, and that's what we've designed in terms of a tool. So it's a perfect tool for nano engineers, crystallographers, and other persons trying to develop in the actual nano space, whether that be structures or whether that be drug design. It's a great tool, and it's again something that's here and it's worth its time to actually explore, and we're actually bringing it to the market. So, the Matrix is a great platform. If you're taking a look at most of what is being done on the blockchain, the idea is that the blockchain makes a really, really good space for people to collaborate. And on top of that, it's a really good space to store things. So the great thing about what we're designing is that we're making 3D images. And the great thing about 3D images, in terms of saying CalcFlow, for example, which would be on the Matrix platform, is that you're able to do a 2D, basically an equation, a parametric function, and actually save that onto the blockchain. That's then callable from the blockchain and can be put into this 3D virtual reality room and be worked on by anybody. And the great thing about it is now, since it is on the blockchain, it's callable by anybody. People can work in collaboration. You can build one object on top of another object. So not only is it good for attribution, in terms of people who also want to be compensated, it's also good for compensation as well. So it becomes a real collaborative environment, and because it is on a peer-to-peer type of system, it also becomes a really competitive system, because people are going to want to build 3D images that are going to be better than something that they've seen previously. So it's collaborative, it's competitive, and it makes it a great place to actually make a platform that can have both these things put together. The problem that Matrix looks to solve is, unfortunately, the status quo that's been kind of institutionalized in our learning, higher educational learning system. We've actually picked out one mathematician whose name is Gregory Perelman. And for example, he solved one of the 7 Millennial Prize problems that was put up by the Clay Institute. During the solution of that problem, he wanted to have the recognition, basically, and the reward, the $1 million prize, be spread between him and a couple of the mathematicians that he felt that he stood on top of. One, for example, was Hamilton. And when he communicated that to Clay, they said, no, we can't do that. Here was somebody that rightly wanted to attribute, not only give recognition to, but also give part of the compensation for him solving a Millennial Prize problem that wouldn't have been solved without these other people. That's what our platform will basically alleviate. Now you can go to our platform, you can design something, have it on the platform, be attributed for it, and if other people use it, you can be compensated as well. And again, it's also the idea of spreading knowledge. You have these institutions that are worldwide that are all trying to solve the same problems, but they're doing so in these small siloed spaces, and they're not speaking to each other. You can't skip steps, but you certainly can speed things up. And this is a collaborative type of space that things can be sped up. And that's why we're making the Matrix platform.